Hey, what's up? This is day 7 of shelter in place. As you can see, not in my normal recording space. My wife has taken that space over as her new makeshift office. Got a number of things going on around me. My kid's here. He's doing his homeschooling since school's out. I'm just trying to do a number of different things, as you can see, to stay sane. But you know, it's our new normal. So let's get into it. Hey, what's going on? Interesting times, interesting times. Who knew we'd get into a pandemic? Who knew the coronavirus was going to wreak the havoc that it has? Shelter in place never was a concept that I would even think of remotely happening during something like this, but here we are. So, like, how does that impact your business? When you're flipping a property, the things that I'm taking for granted are now the things that are major pain points. So, like, some of the things that I'm running into right now, like material delivery. How do I get my materials over to the job site in a timely fashion? I've literally had to look through all the sources available just to get the things that I need, and then try to manage some of the other items by using different solutions, different methods, different material altogether. So that's been one issue that I've run into already, but you just have to stay nimble. The next thing is going to be labor availability. Luckily, I'm blessed enough to have multiple contacts, and even those contacts have contacts. So it's been great that I have been able to keep the project going. But the reality is if you don't have those contacts, if you only have one of each thing, then you could really run into a situation where you just can't even move or get the job done, especially if they're a dependent task that you have to get done before you can say close up walls. So being on top of labor and making sure that it's available when you need it is a huge deal. The next thing is capital. Man, stock market tanking, people are getting scared. And then guess what? Lenders, they do not want to come out of the pocket in situations like this. So, I mean, they start getting very skeptical of anything that you say or do in terms of getting money out of them. So that means, guess what? You better have your money or your cash ready for that rainy day. I took for granted, hey, I can go out and get capital from a number of different sources, a number of different folks. And now that's drying up. And so you just have to be on top of knowing where things are going, where the market's moving, and being prepared. Last thing is ancillary businesses like title companies, the county recorder, places that you don't even think about as being entities that can be affected and then affect your business downstream. Like those folks are gone too. They're sitting at home just like I am in day 7 or 10 or whatever. So I mean, these are things that I just didn't know were going to impact where I was in a flip. And so, like, it's interesting now that it's got my mind turning in terms of, like, how do I make sure that this doesn't happen again? I mean, obviously I can't predict another coronavirus, but what other market forces could cause me to have to deal with pain points like this? We're definitely in a new normal, so I'm sure there are going to be more issues down the road that will impact your business as a flipper, as an investor, that you have to be concerned about. And so now we just have to game plan for a number of different types of rainy days that are going to affect real estate. And so, like, how do you get creative? What are the things that you should be doing or thinking about? So how do you proceed? So, like, the good thing for me is that I've been able to utilize a lot of the different internet resources for product. I've found a number of different vendors. Amazon has been a great resource. I have an Amazon business account. They offer invoicing opportunities for you to be able to purchase materials on net 30 terms. So that means you can buy today and you have 30 days to pay it back. So, I mean, opportunities like that are great. I've got a couple of items that I bought on Amazon that I'm going to put links to in the comments so you can see the kinds of materials that you can buy on Amazon and have delivered to you. But you know, one of the challenges that now I'm running into is that At this point, Amazon has redirected most of their delivery service to help with materials that are going to aid in the cure or support of the coronavirus. So delivery times are really delayed. So then I'm looking at other sites such as build.com, also working with Home Depot in whatever capacity I can to get as much as I can at the cost that I'm hoping for. There are just a number of things that you have to research and do now just to try and stay in front of your labor as they are looking to complete a job and get paid. So you can't have them sitting and waiting for material and then have them in limbo with their payments. So it's really challenging, but there's still options out there to get going. Some of the other things that you have to do are think about, like, how do you get more labor at your job site? So like I've had to lean on some of the subcontractors for additional resources. I had multiple resources in my own Rolodex that I was able to tap into so that if one fell off, then I was instantly able to plug another one in. When you're flipping a property during interesting times like this, you have to make sure that, like, not only are you game planning for having one sub do his specific task, but you have another sub in backup that if that sub has to leave and go do something else, or if they got another project that takes precedence, that you have someone ready to go to fill in and take care of that body of work or that scope of work for that particular task and keep your project going. Another thing that I've had to do is I've had to talk to my capital partners, the people that are in this project with me, and we're looking to be out before the property even hit the market, before we were even at the 30-day point of the renovations. The biggest challenge is making sure that they're comfortable with the direction of your project, and also making sure that you have communicated them new timelines around when they'll receive their capital back plus the return. So you really just need to be focused on how you can make sure that they stay happy and stay patient while you're getting the project to the finish line. So now, how do you get a property back on the market during a pandemic and have some success? One of the great things is that I've talked to a counterpart, and over the last week to 10 days, he was able to move a property, got multiple offers all over asking. That's great, but what if we get farther into this and then the buyer pool dries up and people are staying at home, too concerned about staying away from the coronavirus versus any type of real estate activity, which actually absolutely makes sense. So what do you do then as an investor, as a flipper that is ready to get your capital back out of the deal? So I'm having to get really creative. I'm having to try and put together a virtual open house, trying to put together opportunities that will allow people to feel like they still get that customized or personalized view of the property, but not being there. So how do you do that? What are the other ways that I can try and create some additional marketing power or value by giving them videos and different elements that help market the property, put it in the best light, and get people interested. So I'm looking at using drones for footage of the neighborhood around the property, things like that. I'm looking at trying to put together a video that is going to showcase the property after staging it. We're going to be looking at trying to create these open houses where for a block of time per customer or buyer that's interested, or potential buyer, they get the opportunity to have a live view of the property and direct the way that the showing is going. So I think those are some opportunities, but I've just got to be really creative. So this definitely makes for some interesting times. I just didn't think that these would be circumstances that I'd be flipping a property under, but it definitely brings out the creativity in the process and your ability to be able to switch gears and kind of find alternative solutions that still get you to your desired end state, but definitely takes you off of the pre-planned path that you had. So I think that in situations like this, there's a lot of growth that you can get, but there's also some pain that you go through to get that growth. So I think that if you're flipping right now, definitely start thinking about a lot of these different issues to keep yourself ahead of the game. If you're a long-term investor on maybe say rental income property, congratulations, you've probably done the right thing at the right time. But for flippers, just keep it moving, just stay nimble, and I look forward to talking to you soon.